Hi, everybody. Alexia and I welcome you to our podcast, and we're continuing the series on stress relief and recovery. And today is one of my favorite topics. I'm sure you heard a lot about it. It's called biofeedback. Well, 50 years ago, I had the insight into the fact that there was so much stress in the world that I opened up the Stress Relief Center of Houston and to help out people with stress relief using biofeedback. So, what is biofeedback? Well, we start again with Mother Nature's incredible architecture and design. And Mother Nature gave us two nervous systems. That's the key. One is under our total control, and that's the outside voluntary nervous system. So when you thread a needle, that's voluntary. Okay. And there's 640 muscles on the outside. But on the inside, there's also muscle. The heart is a muscle, the intestine or muscles. And what goes on in the inside is involuntary, also known as automatic. And as I mentioned last time, Mother Nature says, hey, you guys, you got enough on your mind. Let me take care of all the stuff on the inside, and I will do that autonomically or automatically. So biofeedback actually is learning to control the involuntary or autonomic nervous system. Wow, think about that for a second, okay? So we learn how to control it. And there's three main types of biofeedback. Number one is if you learn to control the brain waves, that's called EEG, electroencephalograph biofeedback. If you learn to control and slow down the heart, that's called EKG biofeedback. If you relax the muscles, that's called EMG, M standing for muscle, of course, biofeedback. So we're learning to control a part of the nervous system that previously has been out of our control. Now, let me explain by a little anecdote, I think you'll like this, the main reason for doing this. And that is, again, a little context. When I was on the faculty at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, Texas, I got a call from a local church Wednesday night. They had a singles group there, and they had a film that they were showing. So they gave me a call to kind of answer any questions regarding the film. Well, what was the name of the film? The name of the film was called Biofeedback, Yoga of the West. Okay, and I was there watching the film with the church group, and then questions came up afterwards. And the film was Dr. Elmer Green and his wife Alice from the Menninger Foundation, which is one of the best in the United States in Topeka, Kansas. And they went to India loaded with biofeedback equipment, EEG for the brain, EKG for the heart, and EMG for the muscle. And I guarantee you that Dr. Elmer Green and his wife Alice, okay, were not interested in learning Hindu philosophy. That's for sure. What were they interested in? They were interested in learning how these yogis can control their autonomic nervous system. For example, some of them can slow down the heart, okay? So Dr. Green and his wife, they were interested in learning how the yogis do it, controlling the autonomic nervous system, and then bring back that valuable information to the West for what? Stress relief and recovery, just what we've been talking about. So is they did that, and they had Swami Rama, for example, in the movie, and he was able to slow down his heart, and for about 2 seconds. And it was kind of funny in the movie because Swami Rama said, "Would you like me to do it more?" And Dr. Green and his wife said, "No, no, 2 seconds is fine." So the take home for today is really this: that you can actually have a lot of control over what heretofore has been the uncontrollable autonomic involuntary nervous system. And actually, a lot of this information is in our previous podcasts. So I'll just summarize some of them. So without expensive biofeedback equipment, you could do it naturally thanks to Mother Nature. So for example, in our previous podcast, we said simply nasal breathing, releasing the gas, neurotransmitter, nitric oxide, slows down the heart and dilates the blood vessels to relieve high blood pressure. And then number two, we mentioned in our previous podcast, is how to stimulate the vagus nerve. But paradoxically, you see, the vagus nerve is actually a slow down part of the nervous system. So when you stimulate it, which we showed last time, is you could actually slow down the heart, number one. Number two, slow down the breathing, but then actually turn on the digestive system for recovery and anabolic, bodybuilding, especially protein synthesis. And then is number three, just to show you how everything is connected and hyperlinked, is Alexia and I have mentioned many, many times the importance of feeding your microbiome with soluble fiber. When you do that, one of the great chemicals that you will produce is a neurotransmitter called GABA, and that is an amino acid. And guess what GABA does? GABA slows down the whole nervous system and is tremendously important in a good night's sleep and relieving stress and anxiety. So once again, Alexia and I thank you so much for having us, and we will look forward to seeing you tomorrow, where we will continue the all-important topic of stress relief and recovery and how to get on the slow down parasympathetic nervous system. Thanks again and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.